Hello, welcome to Fusion. Today we'll discuss the CMA. After doing a search in Fusion for your comparable properties, select the properties that you're going to use for your CMA. In the upper right-hand corner of the search results screen, there is a Quick CMA icon. Click the Quick CMA icon to generate a Quick CMA, which then can be viewed, printed, and emailed. If you prefer to create a full CMA presentation, then use the CMA Wizard. The CMA Wizard is a multi-step process to create a CMA. Step number 1 includes choosing the type of CMA that you're going to create this for. Is it for a buyer or a seller? The type of CMA is already selected for you, as I've already done a residential search, so my property type is already selected. Next, select the contact from an existing list of contacts that you have. If you have no contact in your contact list, you can add a contact by selecting the plus sign and creating a contact. In this example, I'm going to use an existing contact. Next, at the bottom of the screen, I'm going to choose the next step. Now you'll see the different steps of the CMA Wizard open up. This step, called the subject property, is where you're going to input the subject property. That can be done through a listing search, through a tax search, or auto-populating from tax if available. I'm going to look up this property through a listing search, as this would be an existing listing that I'm going to use as my subject property. I can do that by clicking on Listing Search. Next, I'm going to look for the existing property by doing an ML number search. And I'm going to do that by going to the bottom of the screen, looking for a particular field that allows me to put in the listing number, and adding that field. Now, since I've done a little research ahead of time, and the subject property that I'm going to use was a previously listed property, I went out and found the listing number for that property. And I'm going to call up that listing number by typing in the listing number that is referenced to that property. Next, I'm going to select that property to use for my subject property and click Add to the selected listing as the subject property. Again, if the property was listed previously, I can search for it and use that information, or I can do a tax search or tax auto pop. If none of those options are available, you would have to manually fill this information in. The primary photo came with this property from the previous listing. I do have the ability to replace or delete the image as needed. The location of the property is also available on a map, which I can edit if needed. If I would like to take this subject property that I'm using for my CMA and start a listing using this information, I can do that by selecting the option below that says Enter this subject property as a new listing. That will create an incomplete listing for this property that I can come back to later and finish when I'm able. Step number 3, comparables. Since I've done my search already, all my comparables are available to me. I can review those comparable properties by hovering over the icon to the left of the number and looking at that property in more detail. I can view the images and I can view the properties on a map. I also have the ability to delete any properties that I do not wish to use in my CMA by selecting the property, going to Tools, and saying Delete Selected. At the bottom of the screen, if I would like to include more properties for my comparables, I can go directly to a listing search and look for more properties. I also have the capability to do a tax search, a tax auto pop, or a comparable search, all from public records if available. And I also have the option of manually entering any comparable properties. Step number 4, adjustments. If I need to make any adjustments for this CMA, my subject property is the top, all my comps are displayed below. I can make across-the-board adjustments by typing in a value for the subject property, and the individual comps will be adjusted accordingly. If there are more bedrooms in this case, it'll subtract. If there are less, it will add. If the bedrooms are the same, there is no adjustment. as you can see here. You can go through all of the individual fields and make any adjustments as needed. If you need to make an adjustment for, let's say, fireplaces, select that option and click OK. The number of fireplaces that are relative to all of your comparable properties, including your subject, will be displayed. Then you can make any adjustments accordingly. For pricing, step number 5. Fusion will compute the average selling price for you, and it will display the range and the suggested price, which in this case is the average selling price. If you do not wish to use that calculation, you can choose any other calculations that you have available, as in the selling price high, the selling price low, or the median, in addition to the list price high and list price low. If you do not like any of the calculations that are available to you, you can select manually enter price, and you can create your own suggested price and/or range. Next, you can choose the report pages that you wish to have your CMA comprised of. The available report pages are on the left-hand side of the screen. The selections are over on the right. By default, we'll give you a standard set of reports to use. If you wish to remove any of those reports, all you have to do is simply select the particular report and then remove it. If you wish to add a report in, select it and move it over. You can drag and drop and put those reports in whatever order that you prefer. Again, this is a standard list of reports that we have created for you. You can use them or you can remove them if you do not need to have them in your CMA. Once you have selected the reports that you would like to use in your CMA, you have the ability to add in a net sheet if needed, and you also can upload your own reports to your CMA presentation. You do that by selecting Upload PDF Report, browsing to the location of those reports, and then selecting the particular report which you want to upload. Give that report a name and click Save. You've now uploaded that particular report to your CMA presentation. If you need to add others, simply go to Upload PDF as New Report and repeat the process as needed. You can add page numbers to your CMA by saying No Pages, Display on All Pages, or Display on all but the first page. You can add stationery to your CMA presentation by choosing an option from the selections. If you're not sure of what those selections will look like, click the icon to the right and you can pick a selection. Today I'll pick the autumn leaves. Click Save, and now I have that stationery on my CMA. We provide you a footer for the bottom of your CMA presentations. You can choose to use that footer or not, and you have the ability to edit the footer that is there if one is provided for you. When you're finished, click View Email CMA Report. You can email this report, which is a link to a PDF file, or you can view or print the CMA. Let's take a look at what it looks like. Here is my completed CMA report with my title page and my stationery behind the scenes. Notice that it will include my company logo and my personal information. As you continue through the pages, you will see, as the example is provided here, a cover letter introducing you and the CMA. Another optional report is the marketing plan. The subject property is being displayed in this report. A standard side-by-side CMA report is another option. A map showing where the comparables are located in relationship to each other. Any pricing adjustments that I may have done are also displayed on the following pages. A report talking about the general facts about pricing, including the recommended price that I selected from the pricing option when I created my CMA. An estimated seller's net proceeds sheet is another optional report, along with the preparing your home. And finally, any custom pages that you've uploaded into your CMA will also be available. This CMA presentation can then be printed, and it can also be saved and sent as an attachment. Once you have completed your CMA, to retrieve your CMA after the fact to make any changes, all you have to do is go to CMA, CMA Manager. The CMA that you just created will be appearing in your list, as you can see here, the CMA that I just created. It'll tell you how many comps you used, what date you created it on, and when that CMA will purge. You can select that CMA for editing or for viewing, or you can also delete that CMA. If you have a large list of CMAs, you can search for them by name of client or name of CMA. And that's a look at creating a CMA in Fusion. Look for other tutorials under the Help tab on your Fusion system.